Welcome back, dear viewers, and I'm pleased to be joined by our distinguished guest right now, who is Ahmed Alromaidheen, who is an astronomer and, of course, an aerospace engineer. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Hala Kuwait.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Now, first and foremost, let's start by talking about what is astronomy. Astronomy
is a natural science. It's a very ancient, old science, and been current and modernized as we speak right now. It's as old as history itself, and right now it makes a lot of discoveries that affects a lot of the things that we use in our daily life. Astronomy in general, if I want to define it, is the study of celestial objects. Anything beyond the atmosphere.
Yes.
That's a vague definition. However, it can't touch everything. In the old days, it was just the night sky and the sun. Right now, pretty much because we use different technology, we discovered a lot of things that we can actually use to make research and discoveries during the day.
Yes.
So it's not exclusive to the night sky anymore. When I say celestial objects in general, or the simplest one, I would say the sun, the moon, the planet, the stars, of course, and what comes under that, like nebulas, galaxies, anything that comes in between those obvious objects.
I see. So now, Mr. Ahmed, in the beginning I did introduce you as an astronomer, but before we went on air, you did mention that there are types of astronomers. Can you explain what is an astronomer and what types are there?
Astronomer is a scientist who studies the science of astronomy. There are many types, and that title can be included depending on the culture. I would say in Western culture, in order to be called astronomer, you have to have a degree.
Yes.
In it. However, generally, it's anyone who practices the science of astronomy and can contribute to it. Like in Arabic, we say falaki, but in English, they distinguish that. If you don't have a degree, but you still contribute, or you use it as a hobby, they call you amateur astronomer. Where if you have a degree, academic degree in college, then you can earn the term astronomer. However, in the ancient time, in the old times, anyone who contribute to the science called astronomer. Right now, it's kind of the emphasis on that distinguish. And yes, the professional astronomy or the professional astronomer, there are types. There are theoretical and practical. Practical, who uses observation, who uses tools to observe and collect data, and then work on the data. There are astronomers who are exclusively just on the desk, analyzing the data, and they call them theoretical astronomer. And usually, they interpret the data to come up with scientific paper that explain the celestial world and our world.
I see. So now, you know, Mr. Ahmed, the season is coming where people start to go out in the desert and camp out and take a telescope maybe and start, even without a telescope, stargazing.
Right.
They love to watch that type of thing. So my question to you is, how could one practice and enjoy astronomy, whether it's that way or is there any other ways?
Yes, astronomy can be accessed or practiced by anyone. You don't have to have a lot of expensive tools. However, it helps, but you can just use your eyes. If you can see the night sky, you can use it. There is, I would say, an obstacle, which is light pollution, which we can touch on that later on. Light pollution can obscure the view.
I see.
So you don't get to see the night sky in all its glory. However, the bright celestial objects you can see. You can see them even in the roof of your house. So even if you are in a really industrial area or a polluted light residential area, you still can enjoy astronomy. You don't even have to go all the way. However, it helps to go outside, like further away from the city, but you can enjoy it pretty much anywhere. Like, for example, the moon. You can always see the moon. Doesn't matter how bright the night is outside. You can see the planets. The the one that you can see with like unaided eye.
Yes.
Like you don't need to have any equipment, like Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars.
I see.
Depends on the season. And you can enjoy also events about astronomy, like meteor showers, which we have one right now, the Orion meteor shower.
okay.
It's in October. So it actually happening last night and tonight. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
Maybe you can tell us what else, like what other celestial or astronomical events that are occurring soon that we can look out for, Mr. Ahmed.
Right now, I'm not sure if there's anything, but however, comets are surprising visitors in the sky. So that's something that you can anticipate in a month, and sometimes it just shows up like in a week. So always look an eye on that, check the news, and you might be surprised. Like in 2007, I remember, they call it a great comet. They call it a great comet because you can see the comet even in the daytime. So events like that can happen very surprisingly, spontaneously, and everyone can enjoy it without even the use of equipment or anything like that. You have meteor showers, you have eclipses.
Yes.
However, those are like, you know, you can schedule those, like schedule your time, not the celestial event.
Of course, yes, yes.
Yeah, on that. But I don't, we had one last month about the moon. We don't have anything coming soon, but every year there's something like that.
That is very interesting. Now, we'll move on, Mr. Ahmed. Can you tell us more about you and how long have you been practicing astronomy?
All right, in terms of personal, I would say since I was young, but since kindergarten, maybe, you know, when they take us out, and then like when we go see the museums, I got interested in those things back then. However, I would say in 2004, after I got my driving license, that's when it became really practical, when I can call myself like someone who practiced astronomy in a serious matter. I joined the scientific center back then. They held events, and then they go out at night and observe, you know, events and the night sky in general. And so I would say more than 21 years I've been doing this.
That's incredible. Now, during these 21 years that you're mentioning, were there any celestial events that were rewarding that came out with practicing this astronomy?
Yes. When big institution astronomy, they find usually something unusual, like a new dwarf planet, they call it right now. Back then, they almost called it a planet. We can actually use the same equipment since they already done the work and we know how to observe it, and they have the location of the object. We can actually go in a community, use those equipments, and then observe it ourselves. We did this with, back then, called Sedna, and now I think it's called Iris. It's a dwarf planet. We actually photographed that in 2005.
Amazing.
And like I said, comets are something you can rely on almost in every decade. Almost every other year, you can see something that you can capture with the camera or the telescope, and every 10 years, something you can see even with the naked eye. And celestial events like eclipses, solar or lunar, those were rewarding. Sometimes transition, which is like Venus or Mercury transit in front of the sun, that's always something rewarding to watch. And meteor shower. Meteor shower is something really beautiful. And there's always surprising, you don't know. Sometimes there's fireballs, which is like kind of like a meteor, but like a larger object that comes randomly and then just light up the whole night in an instant, but it's very rewarding. And doing all of that make you more aware of the sky, and I actually appreciate a lot of the things and the technology that puts in it and how it dictates how we live our lives. Like
it makes you feel small in this planet, doesn't it, when you watch all these things?
It does. It's a humbling experience.
It's a humbling experience.
Yes. Yeah, it makes us know our place in the universe. And that's something that's always nice for your inner being or self.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Well, Mr. Ahmed, we'd like to pause there as we do have a report to show our dear viewers, and then we'll get back to our questions.
Please.
Now, dear viewers, as usual, everybody behind the scenes and our camera crews have been working diligently to bring you the best content. And with that, we have prepared this report titled Oman. Let's watch it together, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Hala Kuwait on KTV2, the family channel, and I'm pleased to be still joined with our distinguished guest, Mr. Ahmed Alromaidheen, who is an astronomer and aerospace engineer. Of course, now, Mr. Ahmed, we talked about the basics of astronomy, and would like to talk more personally, dive into more personal about this, of course, astronomy. And what ways did astronomy affect your life? Can you tell us?
Yes. Astronomy has a huge influence in the path I took in my life in terms of career, hobbies, perception, and I would say I actually joined the engineering department, if you want to call it that, the engineering college, because of that, because I wanted to do, I want to study the astronomy more in an academic level. Of course, getting a degree in astronomy was difficult here because we don't have the college or facilities, and doing it outside is very limited. So the best second thing, which is in career-wise, it's better, is to get a degree in engineering. And I took that in aerospace. I've done that in California. So I would say my career choices was influenced by astronomy and the science of astronomy. Also, in the personal level and hobby level,
yes,
I paint a lot, and there's huge influence of astronomy in my paintings. And even, like, you know, anything got to do with, like, anything got to do with the creative process, like writing, even giving lecture or talking, it's always something got to do with astronomy or a related
That's amazing. So you draw from astronomy as a muse in your art.
That is correct.
Amazing.
Yes, I use it as an inspiration, and just paint scenes. It's either scientific scenes or science fiction feeling scene, or just dreams, surreal landscapes. But it's always has something got to do with astronomy.
Amazing.
And viewer usually can say that. They actually, like, even if they don't know that I'm an aerospace engineer or astronomer, right away they can tell, like, you had a huge influence from the night sky. So there's that in terms of, and of course, you know, personal relation, like my friends and my family, it's always, like my circuits of interaction, it's always something get to touch about this topic.
Which is a great segue to this next question. Now, I was going to ask you, what does astronomy have to offer to the individual and society in general, from your experience?
In terms of technology or our daily life, it helped a lot in doing a lot of discoveries. Let's go to the basics, like the calendar, navigation. If you want to go more specific, satellites, space exploration, and the obstacles and the problems that they face when they try to conduct those missions. They have to solve a lot of problems that the solution to those problems we can use. For example, batteries. Batteries were a problem back then because you cannot refill the battery once outside the atmosphere. So the development of battery went that way. Thermal isolations, navigation in terms of communications. So it's always something that helps us in our daily life. In terms of just in a community sense, it's a good way to make people cooperate together and create a community. And that developed not just astronomy itself, the academic world, and development in general. So, and it's also rewarding. It's a really beautiful hobby. It brings peace, and it's evoke thought. So you'll be like it's really, it gives you a really good perspective of how you see the world.
And maybe introspectively as well, it can be huge. And it is truly remarkable what you can draw from it, from art, from psychology, many things, as you have alluded to. Now, can you tell us, Mr. Ahmed, are there any threats and challenges that compromise the practice of astronomy?
There are. Worldwide, there's a problem, which is light pollution. We talked about that earlier. We can talk about it more in details right now. Light pollution, because of our civilization is developing right now. People are increasing. Buildings are also like expanding, and cities are becoming bigger. Therefore, we are polluting the night sky mainly with light. And that really make a lot of people can't see the night sky fully. A lot of people I know, including me, didn't really see the Milky Way, like, which is, you know, our galaxy. In our eye, it's just a band of stars that it's kind of like a belt across the sky, and that's a really beautiful view. And most people, especially after, I would say after the 60s, in my experience after the 80s, didn't see that. And that's something huge. Most humans in history saw that every night. And right now, you cannot see this unless if you are really far away from the city. And in Kuwait geographically is very small, so you really have to be in the borders. Like if we have a bigger borders, maybe it would be more accessible. So that's I feel like that's a really unfortunate thing that not too many people can see that. Also, it affects the academic world, the professionals. They cannot conduct research comfortably because, you know, they have to rely on the light to study the celestial objects. That's one aspect. There's a lot of aspects. And the noise, the signal to noise ratio, which is like the signal, which is the information that they can get from the stars, and noise is the light pollution. The ratio becomes so bad that it's so difficult to get meaningful data from that. So that's one problem. And since the science of astronomy developed a lot, we don't rely just on light. We rely basically on all electromagnetic, the whole electromagnetic spectrum. On Earth, but that happens like outside Earth, outside the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, we rely on optical, which is the visible light, and radio mainly, and some infrared. With pollution, we really cannot conduct those studies comfortably anymore because the increase of communications, the increase of number of satellites, it actually it distort the night sky optically and in the radio wave. And not just from the light that comes from the ground, also from the satellites. Right now there's a huge number of satellites. They are trying to make the internet, they try to provide the internet, which is a good thing. They try to provide the internet through satellites, through a constellations of, an artificial constellation of satellites.
So these satellites, are you saying they affect the pollution of the...
Yes.
I see.
We talked about the pollution from the lights, you know, like from the buildings and the lights that we're using, and also the satellite itself. It can distort the signal. It can distort visually. People, when they see it, they cannot see the stars comfortably. It can be mistaken for other events, and it's
you can't fully experience it. Basically.
Yes, it feels like the night sky. It's not quiet and a saluted place anymore. It feels like when you go stargazing, you basically you go to your sanctuary. You try to go to have some comfort away from the commotion of civilization, the noise, exactly. With that, you're going to have a different kind of noise, not just, you know, by ear, even visually right now. And then you cannot experience nature as it is, no matter what, no matter how far you are away from the city, which is a problem in itself, the light pollution, like I said. Right now, even if you're in the middle of nowhere, you still can see those satellites and can distort.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like the sky is artificial. So that's something to put in consideration. There are solutions, which is communication to a governing parties, legislations. They can do that. They try. Chile did that. They try to minimize or even prevent using the LED light that heavily rely on the blue lights, and they try to make it more like on the red, so it doesn't scatter a lot of light and pollute the sky. That's just one example, but there are many things you can.
I'm sure there is. We can sit here and talk for hours, as you mentioned. Yes.
Yeah.
But so we'll try to move it along, and I would like to ask you: would you like the practice of astronomy to be more prevalent locally?
Yes, I would love to. And it doesn't take a lot to enjoy this hobby. I mean, you can actually go out right now anywhere, as long as you have a nice sky, it's not dusty, it's not cloudy, the sky is clear, okay? You can still see the planets. You can enjoy it with the unaided eye. You don't need to have equipment. And even with small equipment, like binoculars, in Arabic, derbil, and binoculars or small telescope, the smallest telescope that you can get, the smallest proper telescope you can get. You can see the rings of Saturn from home. You don't have to go far away. You can see the moons of Jupiter. You can see the crater on the moon. You can see the sunspot of the sun. So all those things, you can do it without much, without much needed equipment, and you can do it at home. You don't have to go far away.
Is it fair to say that sometimes equipment maybe doesn't do the... I'll tell you, sometimes you see a full moon, and when you try to take a picture, it doesn't do it justice at all. So is it fair to say sometimes equipment might not do it justice?
Yes. Yes. I would say every particular celestial object needs its settings, let's just say. Like it needs its sets of equipment to enjoy it fully. However, for the eye, you can enjoy it even if the picture doesn't look good. Like you know, when you take a picture of the moon from your phone, it's not as impressive as when you saw it with your eye. But there are always solutions to those problems. It's easy. You can get like small telescope. You can get like something that can hold the phone the correct way to take images through the telescope, and you can enjoy pretty much what the scientists do in a amateur equipment.
So speaking of amateurs, or let's say newcomers, any words for the newcomers or whoever contemplates trying out astronomy? Yes, I highly suggest that you try it, even once. You're not going to regret it. It's a very enriching experience. It's very beautiful. I would love to see this hobby, this awareness of the hobby, it doesn't have to be your own hobby, to increase. It will promote research. It will promote developing more in institutions and colleges that work on those research. As what happened, like we just had like a space agency announced, I think last year, like here in Kuwait, space agency, like NASA, like you know, our version of NASA here in Kuwait. So that's very beautiful. They send a satellite that's made by them, you know, and start sending images back to Kuwait. It's all like, you know, managed here in our colleges. So that's a really beautiful start. And it will promote also cooperation between local countries around us, and then, you know, we can conduct research, bigger research that way. Like, you know, every country has its own equipment. We can cooperate on that and can add to the science of astronomy. You know, we don't have to rely on others. We can actually do that ourselves. We can help people instead of just getting help. That's remarkable. Yes, I agree. We can make our own universe, if you can say that. Yes. So, Mr. Ahmed, really enjoyed this interview with you. We have come to the conclusion of it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your insight and your time. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Well, dear viewers, that was Ahmed Alromaidheen, who is an astronomer and aerospace engineer. Now we move on to this report, and it's titled Air Quality Index. Let's watch it together, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.